Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a weekly video podcast where we talk about all of the latest and greatest happenings in VGC. And we got a big week this week because get to recap a regional, we get to preview a regional, and we get some big news about the future of VGC and what we'll be playing these future tournaments on. And we got a great cast. We got my co-host Alex. How you doing?
Yo yo, I'm the co-host this time because I might have to run to the bathroom, and so that's why. Basically, simply that's all you need to know. Anyways, what was I gonna say? I changed my background too. I'm messing around with that. I just now noticed the Discord background settings, and I realize now this is how a lot of other people have probably been doing it. I think we've had like Chuppa on before doing this, and it's fun. We're gonna be messing with it.
Is that from a specific IP that you like, or is it just like a generic cartoony?
It's Discord. It's just Discord. I have no clue, dude.
And that sure. I have not.
Yeah.
I have not experimented with that at all. And then he disappeared. All right, and then we also have my other co-host, who is basically my co-host at this point. We got Nick. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, and I haven't messed with the Discord settings either. So I've got my wall, and I've got a Xerneas over there and a Chansey.
I should have told
There
you
you go.
before the show started, Nick. Go down in Discord and right-click your camera. That's where it is. You can join me in space.
Okay. Oh, change video
in
back.
virtual space.
We got.
Yeah. Get in here.
This guy good.
Then you just gotta hit confirm or whatever. I think.
Okay.
Anyways, buddy, bring us back into the show.
There we go.
Right on
Okay,
and
we're feeling it. Yeah. Well, so speaking of, that's kind of how I feel as well in that sort of beach mood when we hear that the Global Challenge 1 is coming to Pokemon Champions. However, championship points will not be offered for that competition. And so a big twist here. Where we thought Global Challenge 1, which is the tournament that is going to be used for Japan nationals to qualify for, or Japanese players to qualify for their national championships. Normally is a tournament that we play in to also get championship points. And we just found out we're not going to get championship points from what we thought was going to be the first tournament of champions. What do you guys? What are your first reactions?
So I'll jump in here. Basically, it's strange because like a lot of people put out good takes on this, saying that they thought that we shouldn't have tournaments on, or like point rewarding tournaments on champions so soon because it might encourage some type of like pay to win to make sure you get all your Pokemon and resources fast enough. And then at the same time, they were also thinking that just the amount of time was not enough, and so people were thinking that it was probably best. Oh, and then also like if the software was stable, as somebody mentions here in the Twitch chat, like we've had plenty of issues with Scarlet and Violet, and so they maybe didn't want to do that. I think a lot of that is like the big counterpoint is that if Japan is using this to qualify for Worlds, like I feel like we could also be using this to get a portion of our Worlds qualification. At the end of the day, the GCs got nerfed this season. They're only 75 points for winning the whole thing. I think it would have probably been harmless to make this one for points, but like, sure, we can make it just a free one.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But have you considered that they don't care about Japan having a good like circuit to qualify for, and they just want to like shove them through the system and see who comes out at the end.
We just got different standards, huh?
Well,
Yeah, no,
and I
they
think
care a little bit more about the Western crowd, whether or not that's like it occasionally results in some stuff that we wouldn't prefer like this, but I'm not. I mean, I do wish it had points attached to it, but uh, is what it is.
yeah.
I think that's where it's coming from. I don't know.
We can talk more broadly about not getting champions events for a little longer next, but I do want to point out that not getting points is also consequential for people trying to qualify for the World Championships and how global challenges or GCs fill in your BFL, because we were told that we would have 8 of these, and we were told which months we'd have them in as well, more or less. And
Right,
so
right.
if we're not getting points for one of them, and you have to fill out, you have a BFL of 4 out of these 8, are we getting, we've had 5 so far, are we getting the last 3? Are they going to be on Scarlet and Violet, or are they going to be on Champions? And, I mean, they haven't announced one for March. You'd think they would announce one real soon if it was going to be in March. So we really don't know when these GCs are going to happen and how they're going to happen, what platform they're going to be on. But as someone who like definitely sat out a couple of the GCs, I think I've got like played in 3 of them. It means that we really don't know how many chances you're going to have left, and that's something that would be really nice to know as a competitor, someone trying to plan how I'm going to compete for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's that. No, very good points. Very good points. I don't really know. It's just another thing to add onto the pile of us just being so in limbo this season, and it's very clear that the people running the circuit are a little bit like not in the know. I guess there's always been that disconnect between Game Freak and TPCI or TPC, and this one isn't even like entirely Game Freak, right? It's like Ilka or whatever, but kind of like same difference. The people making the games and the people running the circuit aren't completely in contact about every single aspect, and man, it has been a mess because of that exact reason. I mean, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see when we find out more about what the rest of the GCs for the rest of the season will look like, because if this one isn't offering points, yeah, when are we going to fit in all the ones that do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Transition here.
that brings us to maybe the big second question. I'm going to get to this later. The second question is, when do we get to start playing on Champions? When do tournaments start getting hosted on Champions, either locals or regionals, online tournaments? We don't know. What we do know, what we found out, is that we will be playing Regulation I. And we found out through a forum post, which I don't think we've ever had before. But there is a community.pokemon.com. What's up, Nick?
Oh, I mean, like way back in the day, but not for at least a decade. We had forum posts conveying like super important information.
Are you talking about Smeargle, Nick?
No, they used to use the forums, but it's just it hasn't been done that way.
Way back in the day.
The one I'm referring to was a very old one, but back in 2016, in the early season, Chris Brown, who is a very important person over at the Pokemon Company, he posted somewhere on a circuit that said, like, we are monitoring the situation regarding Dark Void Smeargle, because everyone was like, this is so broken, the game's just unplayable, it's all just a luck fest, moody accuracy boost, moody evasion boost, moody speed boost, and then I get hit by double Dark Void. And Chris Brown did like give us like a little like sliver of hope where we're saying something like, we'll see if we need to do something about it. And then nothing ever happened. And but like the whole season long, we were kind of just like coping and hoping, because he had just posted somewhere, I feel like on like the Nugget Bridge forums or something. I don't remember. It was hilarious. I don't know. I'm sure the boomers remember this, like Jimmy in the chat, but I don't know if anybody else really remembers this. It's not the most relevant to today.
Oh man, I do remember hearing about something like that. That's crazy. I didn't know the full story.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, more communication is better. I think that it was really cool that back in the day, I've lurked on Nugget Bridge back in the day, so I remember seeing some of this. It was really cool to see have that level of communication with Chris, who is basically in charge now, right? And if they are being more communicative, that's great. If they are going to be posting on these forums more, if we start asking questions on the forums, maybe we'll get answers. Honestly, I don't know. We should try it. But no, this is cool to see. Anyways, what it says here is that Regulation F ends on March 31st, as we didn't necessarily know, but we didn't really know at the time. But on April 1st, we get a new regulation, which is Regulation I. And that will be the next format for all Championship Series events that are played with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as the designated video game title with no effective end date. We encourage all players to note the designated video game title on their respective event page or with their Play Pokemon store organizer. All that's very important. So first off, obviously, they do not tell us when we're going to stop. And it sounds like there might be Scarlet and Violet events for longer than we thought, longer than we hoped. Knowing that Pokemon Champions would come out in April, I think most of us were hoping for May. I think I know I booked Los Angeles regionals thinking that this would be that we would transition for by the time Los Angeles rolled around. This format change makes me think it's going to be longer. And then also the fact that now the GC we know is not going to be for championship points. So it sounds like maybe the Western Circuit is going to be delaying moving over to champions for a little longer. And also, like Alex I think is alluding to in the chat, because it said what the respective event page, the designated video game title, Los Angeles is designated as Scarlet and Violet. So we believe that as a result, Los Angeles is going to be Scarlet and Violet, and we have no idea when the first regional of Champions is actually going to be. So with all that,
so Adi, first off, really quick, the screen share did die again, but don't worry about setting it up. Of course, we're just following along. But pull up the Arcanine link in there. The Arcanine link is for Utrecht, and Utrecht, as well as I believe one Brazilian tournament, have been confirmed for Scarlet and Violet. It says the designated video game thing. And then I think if you go up to the top and hit tournaments or whatever, I think that you can go to like LA and you'll see that LA does not go to the upcoming tournaments and then scroll down to LA VG. It'll tell you that it is not there yet.
It does not say that,
which it's strange, and you're gonna jump around to all the links that I put in this section because everything's just tied together. But basically, go up to the Victory Road one and the Zabanded one because I think a week later Malaysia is confirmed to be champions. They're it's in exclamation points or something, and they're we are doing it. And then
Hong Kong
it says now confirmed in champions. And then above that, Hong Kong, it's hilarious because that one's not even playing I. Hong Kong is playing F, much later. This is in May. I should have pulled up the Hong Kong Victory Road page, but Hong Kong is May 1st or something, and they're yeah, we're just committed to Reg F. I don't even. And so it's why this is all lumped into one big super category of discussion. Is that this is all genuinely related because we don't have a lot of concrete answers, and if you're trying to draw conclusions based on anything, you'll be pulled in 6 different directions.
So, Nick, having heard all that, what do you think?
I can't wait to play the first Champions tournament at Worlds this year. It's going to be so much fun. Last time we had a new format Worlds, I did great. Top Cut in 2023. Can't wait to run it back this time. It's gonna be even better because it's an entirely new game.
So you don't believe Alex's copium that LA will still be the first regional champions because it doesn't have this explicit designation that the other two regionals had.
I booked LA hoping it would be champions. I will be there. I will be disappointed if it's not champions. But yeah, nobody knows anything. I think that genuinely might be true, even inside TPCI. I'm not sure they truly know anything. They might know why they don't know anything, but or maybe they're just waiting for 100% confirmation on stuff. But yeah, I don't know. The fact that the major data point does seem to be the Malaysia event being confirmed for champions, and they could walk that back, but that's I don't know. It does seem to be kind of the only data point pointing in that one direction, so maybe it is fake. Who knows, man?
Right.
I think that the way the announcement described it, it sounds like it says, we encourage all players to note the designated video game title on the event page or with their Play Pokemon store tournament organizer to understand the regulations set in place. It sounds like this will not be everyone transitions at once. It sounds like this will be regions at a time. Maybe they will give locals the choice between whether they want to try out new champion software or if they want to just do Scarlet and Violet. And I think they might give organizers that. I think all the organizers really want champions, but I think they might not have the like technical capacity, right, the expertise to be able to do this immediately all at once. And so I think they do want a trial run. And so it makes a lot of sense for Los Angeles. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping. I think I might be coping, but I'd really like Los Angeles to be in champions. It might suck for the Brazilian regional and for Utrecht, but I would be shocked if Indianapolis, at the very least, wasn't champions. Like, that's a long time after the game releases to not move over to that title. That's over a month, right? Presumably. So I don't know. Like, it just it diminishes the excitement for these tournaments, right? Especially after the game is released, everyone wants to play in champions. As a content creator, I want to make champions content. So if you're focused on Scarlet and Violet, it kind of sucks for everyone. The longer that you draw out this process of playing as Scarlet and Violet while champions is out. We see this every time a new Pokemon game comes out, right? You guys remember in end of 2019, right, when Sword and Shield had already come out, people were going to Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon regionals, doing like 60 players at a regional, right? No one will be excited about it. We're never going to get those low numbers again. But yeah, the faster you switch over, the better. The faster, like, everyone's excited to play on this new game. I really hope that they switch over as early as possible, and I hope that it seems pretty firm in their declaration for Utrecht right here, but it seems like they're hoping that at least LA they can switch over.
Let me weigh in on LA here just to clarify some stuff and also to give my 2 cents as well. So first off, I am going to LA. My cancellation post was a edited image. It was just bait. So I'm still very much going to the tournament. It's part of my season. And it was going to be part of my season no matter what, just because I'm on the West Coast, and so this was already like a tournament that was going to be close enough and convenient for me. In fact, I did book my flights before I even registered because I didn't think it was going to sell out instantly, and I knew I was going no matter what, and the flights were cheap, so got that locked in. So I will not be canceling no matter what we find out, because this was just one of my steps towards qualifying for the World Championships. Ideally qualifying. So far, it's been a lackluster season, but we'll try to bring it back. Regardless, the format regarding that, though, I am very much thinking it's going to be Regulation I. I don't want it to be Regulation I'm just kind of all aboard the. I don't even want to call it dooming train. I'm more just an accepting my fate kind of train, accepting what the season has shown us already. We are we're potentially, we're only a couple of weeks away from April, and the game comes out in April. We don't have a date in April. I feel like every day that passes, I feel that they would probably give us a release date a month in advance, you would think. Maybe not. I don't know. But, is it really going to be releasing by April 18th when it's March 18th and we don't have any information? There's just a lot of question marks. Of course, everything's just question marks right now. And so that's not a hot take. It's not a tub take. But yeah, regardless, going to LA, I would not love to be playing on Regulation I or on Scarlet and Violet at all, really, in general. But this is what we got. That's where I think it's definitely going to be just on it. But like you said, I would love to. I'll have a little bit of your copium, Audie. I'll join you a little bit on it, and hoping that we are just going to be the first region to get champions, and then they'll roll it out to everybody else later.
I was a little annoyed. I did not plan on going to LA. They made it seem like they were going to be championship point events. With the GC, with Malaysia, had been announced when LA registration had gone up, and then literally 2 days afterwards, they rug pull us and they say it's Regulation I, which like I don't think I would have booked if they had announced this a couple days in advance. And I wish they would announce this up earlier.
Right.
Because okay, I say all that, but I actually do want to talk a little bit more about Regulation I in a little bit. But for all that, let's get this let's get all of our Pokemon Champions thoughts out. Any other like commentary about all this news that we got?
Gosh. No, you've got a good point though. Just like in the general, like it just does feel unfair trying to plan our seasons around this like complete lack of information. We've like complained before about them not like telling us dates for tournaments for a very long time, but like there's just been so much this season that has made it completely impossible to plan things out. Yeah, it's never been worse with them. Just like we are so close to the new game, and they still haven't given it a release date. Like that's the part of the fault is on TPCI when they don't tell us, the dates of regionals that they have definitely booked the convention center for, like over a year in advance. But yeah, it's literally both ends now, where it's just we are so in the dark, and yeah, I just don't even know what. I don't know what we're going to be doing for the rest of the season. Like, am I going to Indy or not? I want to know if I'm going to Indy or not because I want to know what game we're playing on that one. I'm not going to Indy to play Regulation I. I would go to Indy if it's now the first Champions event, or like if it ends up being the first Champions event.
Yeah, it's just no, I don't really have anything to add. Just I share your guys' sentiment. Shit sucks.
100%, 100%.
But with all of that, and with the sort of disappointing news that we are going to be playing Regulation I, at least, having retrospected a little bit, am very excited that we're not playing Regulation F until Champions like we all thought we would. I think that was the expectation at this point, going into Friday when this was announced, I believe. And they had said at the start of the season, the format after Reg H, which is Reg F, was going to be played until Champions was released. And they went back on that. And I really appreciate that because this was getting really, really tough to stomach. This was pretty miserable. I was not excited to go to any more, potentially multiple Regulation F events. Regulation I really liked the format. This is actually one of my, I think we did the tier list earlier, one of my favorite formats in especially the later half of Scarlet and Violet. It had a lot of diversity, it had a lot of really good storylines over the course of the few months that we got to play it. Of course, had it really exciting World Championships. And I cut a regional in it, and I think just generally had a lot of fun team building in this format. So yeah, what are your guys' impression of Regulation I, and are you excited to play Regulation I, presumably at Los Angeles, and potentially before that at Orlando, or not Orlando? Yeah, at Orlando, yeah.
Yes, at Orlando, yes.
Yeah, at Orlando too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Reg F. I was 1 out of 10 excited to play Reg F tournaments, and I'm like 6 out of 10 excited to play Reg I tournaments. Like, it's a really solid step up.
Yeah, I mean, you cut worlds in Regulation I, right? So you're pretty good at this format. And Nats.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I had a couple good finishes in this format, and I'm excited to play some more of it. Like, I mean, I'm probably not going to cut the events, but like maybe I will. It'd be awesome. And yeah,
it's just that streak.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just pretty cool format.
I'm not going to push back too heavily on it because I feel like we're comparing not like rotten apples to rotten apples. Like where I'm just like all Scarlet and Violet formats at this point are not exciting me, and I don't think I'm more excited to go back to this one. This one just has more evil Pokemon. Like we have to deal with Evil Urshifu in Regulation F. Now we have to deal with Evil Urshifu and Evil Calyrex in this format. So, yeah, whatever. At the very least, we having a bit of a reset on the format is always interesting. Why are you pulling up my team here? we're like on a bit of a delay, of course. So.
Oh yeah. This is my follow-up question.
But,
I want to ask you guys about what you're gonna run, but go ahead, finish your thought.
yeah. Okay, cool. We'll get back to that. So yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, I think that the format doesn't feel completely done. I do think that we'll probably see still more development. Like, we felt like the same way when Regulation G ended after Worlds, and then we came back to it, and then, like, I don't know, Justin Tang actually won the first event back, right? I think not the first event back total, but the first event back for NA, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And he won it with honestly a build that was not quite like anything we had seen in the first run through. And that was funnily enough, that was in Texas. The Houston this weekend is gonna be in Regulation F.
Wait,
so that's not, there's no other correlations to draw there.
You missed the
But
part where the very
maybe
first
there's more.
regional of that format was Birmingham, and it was won by Arabega Maridon immediately, and we thought the format was due.
The same team, the same exact team, right?
Yeah.
Good point. So basically, if you take those two tournaments as the only data points, 50-50 chance that Orlando is won by Geo's team, and 50-50 that it's won by something completely brand new, and we're like, oh, this meta's still got some room to grow. I do think that the meta has definitely got room to grow still, so we'll continue to see some developments over the course of it. There was a lot of I don't know. I do think the format's horrible, though. I hate it. I hate playing double restricted. It's just matchup roulette. So
I think
there's also like lead roulette in there. Some
sure,
getting
you're right.
your turn ones right. Like there's a lot more nuance that does not move the needle on how good the format is.
It's so true.
No, I had a lot of fun playing this format. Although I do concede it's a little bit of a matchup roulette format. I think restricted formats tend to be. But right. I think that's okay, and that actually like kind of when I really like restricted formats in general because it actually really allows you to use creative Pokemon, like some fun choices. It allows you to build like really different teams. There are obviously some very like standard looking teams. There's definitely some like Caloric Shadow Balance teams, and definitely some like the Maridon Lunala stuff was always like, okay, didn't really change very much over the course of the format. But we also saw like Calyrex Ice Maridon. There were a bunch of different versions of that did well over the course of the format. Sun did really well. Kit went up, went down. Like we saw some really cool stuff we saw like different builds of Maridon with different like Combined users, Terapicos, Caloric Shadow. Like I don't know. I really do think the format had a lot of growth and is going to continue to grow. And that being said, I do get the criticism, and I do think that a lot of times, part of the fun of it is like calling getting your meta call almost because you can't ever cover everything. There's too many viable restricted combos. You are going to have some really bad matchups. You're probably going to have some really good matchups. But calling your shot a little bit is an important part of this format.
I don't know if there were 7 regionals max. Maybe there were 6, but honestly, there was a lot of Grimmsnarl. So yeah, crazy, man. Ugh, that's so funny. Though on the team that Gavin used, I think the Grimmsnarl got dropped afterwards, right? So
the Grimmsnarl did in fact get dropped.
So
it was the 6-man, but anyways.
So Nick, you of course top cut Worlds with this team. You top cut Nats with this team. Gavin won Portland with the original version of this team. There's a team report on my channel with Gavin where he explains the version he won Portland with. Do you think this team? Do you think you're going to stick with this team? Do you think this team has staying power going into Regulation I Part 2?
I mean, I'm probably not going to bother learning anything else. It didn't look incredible in either of my stream sets, but I don't know. It'll probably be fine. I don't know if it's like got a target on its back or anything. It's there aren't that many people running it. Like I've had one person ask me about it before the tournament, and he's not even going to Orlando actually. So it's like I don't know. Trying to get my meta minute in, but yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it's. It wasn't ever very popular. Like heading into Worlds, so
yeah.
I don't know. I guess if some people want to like look into it more, feel free. It's fine. It's pretty cool. It's fun to play for sure. But uh, I don't know. It doesn't really. The viability of the team doesn't really change whether I'm gonna load it up or not. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I thought about lying and saying that. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna play CSR Zama for sure. It's been really, but no, like I'm not I'm not learning a new team for 2 months of Reg I. Um, when I have something that I've performed well with, like to that level before.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I had Kyogre as the 5th best archetype on my list that's coming out at some point, probably in the next couple days. I've already recorded it. I just gotta edit it. Alex, you were on Miraidon Ice Rider. I believe you were on this archetype for most of the format, right? Are you sticking with it? How do you feel about it after a disappointing Worlds performance for the archetype as a whole?
Yeah, right. I know. It was so tough. Like it just did so bad. And then the funny tilting part of it is like James Evans, who got second, said like he had like no matchup
Mm-hmm.
into it as well. It was like, ah, come on,
Yeah.
no. But like yeah, it's honestly doing really rough right now. And I think a lot of it is due to just what I complained about earlier because I was working so hard on this archetype. I can say like that the matchup roulette aspect of it felt impossible to do it all. You want to like try to cover the most important things. So you want to beat like Shadow Rider Zamazenta. You want to make sure that you can beat other Ice Rider teams. You want to make sure that you can beat Sun teams. And so trying to beat all of them was so tough. I think that people will continue to work on this archetype though, and find and like even some of like the old versions will still do just fine because they have like as long as they don't hit all the bad matchups, they'll be able to do it. But it's definitely going to be starting off in a hard spot because of how many things it has to cover. Even though Ice Rider Miraidon is like the match made in heaven, I will probably start with a different direction just to mess around a bit. So far, like I'm thinking maybe like Ice Rider Koraidon, which I think was that like two. Was it one top four or two
Mm-hmm.
top fours?
Hirofumi got top 4 with it.
Yeah, Hirofumi. Maybe yeah, that was the only
Mm-hmm.
uh one there. But yeah, Hirofumi. I don't know. His build honestly, too wild for me. Too crazy. But you know, I still might look at some of the other ones there because it's there's other ways to play Ice Rider, and so I think that it could be cool. It could be fun to mess with.
Yeah. The one that I am most intrigued by is, excuse me, what Masayushi Kuro did. Kuro. He used Sneasler on the team. Um, and Carson Convert cut NAIC with the Sneasler version of the team as well. So this was the highest performing Ice Rider Miraidon player at the World Championships, and we saw it do well at Nats. I think this is kind of. I think this might be like kind of good. I think this Sneasler, um, and then I think every Ice Rider team seems to have Urshifu and Cinnamore on it as well. But then you just get the Sneasler and you get like one flex slot. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on this version of the team?
It's so funny because this person, it couldn't be anybody else. They played so much on Pokemon Showdown, just like a ton, and we were playing them a ton. And I'll be honest, I don't think they were doing that hot there. And so like these are, which is honestly like still a very important lesson. Like because like a top 16 at Worlds is an amazing finish, and that's like the main like teaching point for me is that it just seems like playing a shit ton and just getting in all those reps is going to make a huge difference on being ready for everything. Like maybe you'll lose or win just a little bit more than you lose and you're like you feel like you're going 50-50. But if you're learning in the wins, you're learning in the losses, then ultimately when you're playing at Worlds, you're only playing like 12 games or something like that, so it's not the 200 games that you have on ladder. It's just you gotta be able to work your way through the matchups, and you won't, as long as you don't run into a ton of bullshit, which you definitely can in a format like this. You will probably have your lines pretty memorized, and it does help when you're running something a little bit stranger than what your opponent is running. So that way, the familiarity is a bit more in your court.
Okay, Alex, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but have you considered my world's run? For reference, for those who I haven't told this to, I didn't play any games of Pokemon between Nets and Worlds last year. Um, and I did it entirely by vibes because I hated the format. The upside that I think I got out of it was I was playing really loose and really um, just like, well, one, I was trying to figure out everything on the fly, but I was just thinking about positions in a really open way and like willing to break out of rigid memorized lines. And in a format like Reg I think that can be pretty helpful. Um, Now, to Alex's point, you could probably do that while also knowing which lines are best and just like balance the two of still play free but know what you're doing. Um, but uh, uh, after what Alex had said, I could not chime in with my
I get
experience.
it. I get it. I'm looking at your schedule here,
Mm.
Nick. By the way, you only lost to world champions. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it was a funky tournament for a lot of reasons. I only beat
Though,
Zamazan.
yeah,
Right.
your schedule was also wild for that reason. But yeah, Shoma, of course, like an actual Masters champion here, and then Gio was technically not a world champion when you lost to him, so that's like a little like technicality. And then the and then Ko I think won in seniors.
Yep.
Did you go
Yep.
over VR results already? Honestly, VR results did not make the list. Was there a VR that I forgot?
I think you know what
There's like
we'll do VR real quick because there was one cool team in Victory Road that we could talk about. But I don't want to go through all the results. I'm just kind of over Reg F. Um,
yeah, no, that's real.
okay, so cutting Nick off from his story. Um, but uh, yeah, cutting Nick off. Any other thoughts about Regulation I? Anything you like? I think we're gonna talk a lot more about it as it comes into fray as we get to previewing the first tournaments of the format. But any final words about this format before we move on?
I
No,
hope we don't
I've
play
given.
it long.
Let's move. All right, all right. We also have a little bit of news about what's going to happen over the summer. So for some reason, VGC did not have championship point earning events over the summer, while it sounds like Pokemon Go and TCG did. I know TCG did. I didn't realize Pokemon Go did. Now no one does. They've taken it away from everyone from June 15th to August 31st, so until right after the World Championships. And instead, they are going to have a mid-year celebration event where you can get some sort of little different prize, which includes a notebook showcasing epic Pokemon Champions key art for VGC event winners. Um, aren't you guys excited about getting? Is this the notebook right here? About this notebook? If you win a non-CP event over the summer.
It's pretty funny. Honestly, I haven't taken notes in forever, so I don't really need more random Pokemon memorabilia. But I think for somebody taking notes at tournaments could be
Oh
pretty
wait,
cool.
it's probably this one.
I also love the part about the breaks. I'm very much in the same boat as you, Adi. How you didn't know that like Go was doing events over the summer, and like I knew that like TCG kind of had events over the summer, but it's very much that like I don't know. There's a meme that's like, you guys are getting paid. Like, wait, you guys are getting paid. Like, I don't know. It was just, like, I didn't know we were doing summer events because we don't have summer events. So we like, it's like, all right, everybody, we're taking a break over the summer, and we're just kind of like, we were already doing that, huh? But yeah, no, of course it's for the other games mostly.
Um,
Yeah. I've played some summer TCG locals before when I was into that, and they were kind of fun. But yeah, it's like just hanging out, waiting for fall to come back.
Yeah. Are you guys
Wait,
planning on playing? Do you guys normally play at locals if you don't have championship points on the line? Would you play for this notebook?
I
mm,
I struggle to play for
probably not.
Hmm.
my locals when championship points are on the line. So
Okay. What
Adam,
if?
I'm a little bit confused by your question in the chat here, which says, "How is anyone supposed to get CP or a Worlds invite if you didn't do well at a regional and are only a little CP off? You just can't qualify for Worlds." So I'm gonna hit you with one with the hard, which is like not everybody's supposed to qualify for Worlds. So like you do have to earn it. Doing well at regional is probably a prerequisite, but the I'm sorry. What is the alternative you are looking for? Because we're talking about the events not being in the summer. That doesn't really change the world. I mean, like it would change the world's invites potentially. Yeah, like if after NAIC it turns out that you could still go to locals and those like 5 people that are on the bubble all have to like try to improve their second at a cup to a first or something to like really make the difference. But no, I'm kind of confused by the question. So
I think Pokemon in general brings up a better point, which is wouldn't it be better for people to be able to play locals that are meaningful over the summer when they have more time off, have more free time, especially for people who are like students? Which is a good point, right? Like I know that's usually when I was growing up had the most free time. Even right now, it's when because so much of my travel is through Pokemon. I definitely get overwhelmed going to like locals, regional, locals, getting into that pattern that takes up most of my weekends. So
right.
I do kind of like it being spread out a little more. Um, but yeah, they're doing away with that for whatever reason. I guess part of it is that if you people stop going to locals when they finish their BFL, that's a very like distinctly VGC problem. I don't think that's really an issue as much in the TCG, but I think
Right.
that some challenges struggle to fire later in the season, and so not giving you more chances to fill out your BFL and getting you into stores more often with other sorts of prizes, it does make sense strategically. Um, and I asked you if you'd play for the notebook, but it says there will be digital participation prizes. Would you play if you got to put a ribbon on your Pikachu, or got a hat in Pokemon Champions for going to locals?
I'm one of the least motivated by just accessories people out there. So I personally wouldn't, but I think they're pretty cool. Like, uh, just it doesn't do anything for me. But like, yeah, being able to dress up my Incineroar, uh, would be pretty cool, probably.
All right, dude. Let me put Santa Hat on Ensign in Champions. Come on. Um,
Uh,
yeah, Audi. My answer is always. I've made this point before, but just like behind me here in the background, I've got too much Pokemon shit. I don't need more like little knickknacks, and
mhm.
especially here in the Seattle area, we are blessed with like a lot of local events to go to. That I wouldn't mind the summer being a time to do other things besides that. But the counterpoint is very much heard. Uh, that I think there's a lot of people that have free time in the summer, and it would be a nice time to actually have like people get out to events.
Mhm. The other news in 2027, people who win first place at a local event will earn an acrylic trophy, which I assume is going to be for cups, not for every challenge, alongside some cool digital rewards. So, kind of talked about digital rewards. I think someone in chat said VP rewards. That would go really hard. That would probably get me to go to
Right?
locals a little more often if I got and like honestly like low key like why not? Why not do it, right? Like you want people to compete in your competitive circuit if you're playing Pokemon Champions. Let locals give out like a not inconsiderable amount of VP if you do well at them and you keep going to locals
Ooh.
regularly. Um
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
it'd be
No.
great.
Support that. Yeah.
Um
No, that would actually move the needle slightly for me. Um, yeah, it's just in-game
Yeah, I don't know if
resources.
this is more possible in Champions. It feels like it is more possible in Champions, but like we could have technically been doing this in Scarlet and Violet. And honestly, if we were doing it in Scarlet and Violet, it would have probably motivated me to go to locals even more, to get like whatever you want to call them, the vitamins to EV your Pokemon or reset Mochi. Any TMs, literally any, even just like the in-game currency, just getting like Poke Dollars would
Okay,
have
so
been
funny. They
cool.
they did give out it was like 100,000 BP for making World's Top Cut.
Damn, that's
I
pretty
think
cool.
I forgot. Maybe I heard this, but I forgot.
Yeah, so found this out in 2023. Like they had a separate online competition that they had you enter for World's Top Cut, and the reward when you like deregistered from it, yeah, it was just 100,000 PP.
That's
It's
so
like
sick.
it's the same amount that you get from playing like just a regular global challenge, but it was really just funny to see. Like, oh, okay, neat, I guess.
Okay. Anyways, I will say, yeah. So I think these awards are going to be digital, are going to be aesthetic only, most likely. But I think that there is a way to do it where they say you're going to get like a couple reset tickets or whatever, like Alex said, which is equivalent to getting mochis, and they just like give you literally like a code that or QR code that you can scan on your app that does it for you. Like that. That's totally doable. Love to see it. I don't think they're going to do it, but yeah, just some updates about what Pokemon's going to look like in 2027. And with that, let's talk Regulation F. Excited about Regulation F. We have the VR March Challenge number. No, this is this upcoming weekend. Which, by the way, they have the first Regulation I tournament, and it starts at 3 a.m. Eastern time, which I understand is because we have a regional in NA, so they theoretically don't need to cater to NA players this time. But I would have played at this if it was at a reasonable hour. And it's like, it's so unreasonable because it's at the one time where like it's not feasible for West Coast players to play in it or East Coast players to play in it, right? If you started a little bit earlier, I think West Coast players would tough it out. Start at like 9 p.m. West Coast and go until like 4 a.m. And if it started a few hours later, East Coast player could be like, I'm just gonna wake up early and play. Neither. 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific, just unreasonable.
It's fine. They know the Americans are watching March Madness.
So true. Good point.
Wait, actually, no. They started it so that you can finish day one Swiss before the tournament games start. That's actually optimal.
So true. Yes, yeah. Play. Okay, but we also had a Victory Road Tour. Fede Campo won with the team that Zach used to get second at EUSC. Which of course we have a team report for on the channel. And second place, also not the most creative team. Did want to talk about top four, really quickly because this team is a little more creative. It is Iron Jugulus, and there were two Iron Jugulus, same team, in top four of Victory Road. So this is not a team I'd seen before. Alex, what do you think? Have you seen this around? And do you think it's going to stick around for the last 2 weeks of the format?
Yeah, actually, there are enough like new pieces here that this isn't. Yeah, this is like actually, like I said, new. Because I was mixing it up with the team that I don't remember who used it, but there was like a Blood Moon here instead and a Wellspring instead of Urshifu. I think that's a build that exists, but there's some changes here that definitely make it the team stand on its own, and I'm sure that they chose it for good reason. Like, like this is a build that is probably targeting some of the strong teams right now. The double top four definitely gives me some confidence that they were probably onto something with some of the ideas of this one. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that somebody is trying to run this at Houston. I mean, Victory Road is a you can't like alt on this one. So I actually don't remember if you could go back on are either of these NA players, or are they not?
They are not. They're both Europeans.
Someone who's claiming to be the fourth place player is in Twitch chat right now.
Yeah, Snorlax.
Snorlax. Okay.
Q1. So I mean, just the double top four. It makes me think. Like we've had a couple other instances this gen where we've had the same team get first and second at events, and so you have to think those two guys were like, "Yo, we're doing it. We're doing it. We just have to make,
No.
we have to get through semis, and then we're gonna play the mirror in finals." It's just like those other guys did, and then they just both die in top four.
Can
It's
you
so
guys
sad.
can you guys think of a
No,
regional
the first
where
person lost.
can you guys think
Go
of a
ahead.
regional where both players in top four had the same team? Has that been a thing? I know we talked about the finals when that happened.
It honestly probably there's probably examples. I can't think of it.
It's just as hard to have the same teams in top four as to have a mirror match in finals, really. So it's just as unlikely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the same thing basically.
If anyone in chat can think of one, I'm definitely curious. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight this team because it was cool. It was the only really cool team that stood out from Victory Road, and there were two of them. Which I think that if you are going to Houston, going to I think Seville, and you want to use something different that people haven't seen before, well, I mean, because like at this point in the format, people have played so many games against so many different things, right? Everyone is so experienced with the team, they might not have played against this. Right, and so that is maybe a reason to test it out if you really need a team last minute. Maybe not for Houston, that's coming up real quick, but maybe for Seville, I can definitely see that.
Right.
All right, and then with that, let's go ahead and we can talk about the regional that happened this past weekend over in Brazil in Curitiba. Curitiba, not sure how to say that. And it was won by Leonardo Ritter. Congratulations to him, using a team that is just a little evil, team that I think we've all been trying to avoid this format, with Smeargle, Chiyu, Flutter, Hyper Offense.
I think we ended up seeing was it the double finals in EUIC with a very similar build to this. I think it was Choice Band or Shifu, and besides that, I'm not sure how many other differences there were. Maybe Fluttermane was like a Landorus or something. Regardless, though, the core identity of the team is you just have Smeargle and Torn, and you set up Tailwind, and you decorate your guys, and you spore things, and you also blow them up with these two really hard hitting Dark type Pokemon, and it can go. I mean, it's HO to the T with I guess an Assault Vest Raging Bolt to hold the team together.
And sometimes you can decorate the Raging Bolt.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guy gets pretty too.
This is a team.
Yep.
This is a team that also, notably, the Torn, is slower than the Smeargle, so you can also the Smeargle Torn is like maybe their most common lead from what I've seen. They're very often they love to get a nice +2 Bleak Wind Storm off as well. But I mean, this is a team that I think I played this at EUIC, and it's honestly less bad in this format than it is arguably in the next format in Regulation I, where almost this exact same team verbatim is on it with Calc Shadow Zamazenta, I believe, and it's so much more infuriating there. So honestly, this one a little more reasonable, I think, when there's so much Urshifu in the format. Urshifu is so dominant, but I don't know if it's had a big result since that regional that you were referencing, Alex. So it's rotated back into the format right as it's ending.
Right. Yeah, I actually played against the Smeargle Pagos team from Regulation I today in a coaching session. It is just so evil. Like I think they led Shadow Rider Smeargle and turn one just protect decorated, and there was just like very little we could do about it. I actually still ended up we still won that game. Don't worry. But like yeah, it's just like it is evil how many options Smeargle has turn one with just that kit.
Yeah.
The option to just if you want to protect on the fake out, well, they side decorated. If you like, I think honestly, one of the only ways to effectively deal with it is to click like follow me with an ogre pawn, and at that point you're taking a Bleak Wind Storm super effectively. So it's just ow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other ways to handle it, but yeah. Anyways, um, are there any other teams from this that are exciting or interesting? Because I was looking through earlier today, and I think I was seeing a lot of standard stuff for sure. Um, like second place was just the standard P2 build, right?
Yep.
Um, and then Snozo, which honestly I thought had kind of like gotten like had fallen off enough that people weren't really running it, but somebody did well with the Snozo team with the Clam Dozo. Um, and then Sebastian Escalante using a variant of like kind of like the Wolf team. You know, if you just made Ensign a fish, it's technically that. Probably different
Yeah.
enough at least with
Or
some of the set changes and stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I think that maybe it's a little passive. I think it's kind of cool to see this a little more aggressive version of this team that is just going all out. Specs Chiyu is not something I've seen a lot of. I normally see, uh, either Sash or Twitch Scarf or whatever. But Specs is doing big damage here.
And then I think for the rest of the top 16, I'm pretty much just looking at sample teams that have already done well in previous instances.
Yeah.
I think towards the bottom of the top 16, Christian's team, I believe that is the Elizabeth Snow team. I think Elizabeth ended up winning a VR that we might not have covered because it was on a busier week or something like that. But yeah, this is a build. I don't know. I mean, it kind of just like goes to show that like even like basically Elizabeth can always cook. Basically, like even some of Elizabeth's like less meta sweeping builds can still perform well. Like I think they have very solid approach to team building. So yeah.
Yeah. So quick question. Looking at smart monies, right? Alex, you picked a Gotti as your smart money. Do you know what a Gotti brought to this regional?
I should have realized before because I think he had tweeted out this stuff in advance, and then I had forgotten by the time we were picking smart monies. But he basically like put out like a Twitter poll just saying like, "What stupid mon should I bring?" Because he was like talking about like bringing Latias, some crazier stuff as well. I don't remember what the suggestions were, but yeah, I think he ended up going 3-3. Oh, there we go. Heatran, Polytoad, Screamtail. Okay, honestly, Latias definitely the craziest of the options, but yeah, unfortunate that it didn't work out for him. It's pretty fun though that he just feels like messing around. Yeah, with the team. Anyways,
I picked Vovamax, who I don't actually know how he did. 7-3. Okay. Top 16 with pretty standard team. Not as crazy as I would expect from him. I guess I should click on it to make sure it's not as crazy as I could expect from him. But I don't think I won smart money because Chef picked Sebastian Escalante, who got top 8.
Yeah.
That's who I would have picked.
That's your boy.
He is my boy.
The Whimsicott on the NDD team, still something that bugs me a little bit, but I don't know. Pretty standard stuff otherwise here.
Yeah, I think this is almost exactly the build. Or sorry, it's the same 6 Pokemon that he won the GC with, right? And I think he's just been iterating on that since then.
Yep.
So, yeah, just got a lot of familiarity there.
All right. Now I gotta see, is there anything crazy in Top Cut? That's what I always gotta find out. So I imagine you guys might have looked at it.
Wait, what was?
Or what is? Or sorry, in day two.
Okay.
In day 2.
Okay.
There's only 27 teams, huh? But there was a Latios in day 2. Carlos Jr. managed to take a Latios to a top 32 finish. Which is very similar to what Agati brought, actually, believe it or not, right?
True.
Yeah. Use the better Lottie, I guess. It's got good.
To answer the question in the chat, by the way, somebody says, "What is this report worm, and how is it different than Top Cut Explorer if it is?" Well, basically, report worm is the one that you can use to analyze schedules a bit better. If you're talking about the standings website that was made by Stallruth before, that one is kind of gone away, and so this is the new best schedule analysis website, standings report worm, whatever. Um, and then Cut Explorer is much better for analyzing. Well, usually I use Cut Explorer to analyze meta results. You sort by a certain Pokemon, like, oh, how many Specs Flutters did well at the tournament, and you sort by that, and then find like the best finishing Specs Flutter team, and you're like, oh yeah, that's actually the team I'm looking to run, or something like that, or you can just do all kinds of different meta analysis that way.
Yeah, sadly, I think there are not a lot of very exciting teams. And a lot of the more fun teams looks like they went 6-4 pretty consistently. Among the ones that made day 2. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. 6-4 rounds looked like they had a great time playing with their Latios and their minimized Dozo and their Crackhead Sun team. Seems like good times down at the bottom of day 2. That's where I want to be. Bottom
The
of
minimized stuff. The minimized stuff is so God. And I've seen some people are already starting to take it into Regulation I as well. What are they're calling it? Dodge Dozo. Dodge Dozo players. I'm sorry, but I have no respect for you whatsoever. Not even a shred. Anyways,
are we done with this?
I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about this. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about the regional, because a lot of the teams are just like sample, not sample teams, but teams that we've seen do well before, and getting deep into the weeds on the metagame trends for this one. I don't know. It probably won't end up being that fruitful of a discussion. There's like definitely maybe some tendencies into the region that are not as common elsewhere. Like the Hisui Arcanine build did pretty decently, despite it not doing that well in other regions recently. And so, yeah, I mean, I think we probably could just move on to previewing Houston at this point. I know that we're going through things a little bit fast, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's on the docket this week. I don't know. We've kind of covered everything already.
All right. Well, then in that case, let's talk about Houston. Houston being the last regional of Regulation F in North America. There is one more in Europe coming out after this. We being casted by Sierra, Evan, Aaron Zhang, Dewey Ha, Gabby, and Joe. Got a pretty solid cast. And I, for one, am very excited to say goodbye and good riddance to Regulation F. I hope that there is some exciting and interesting Pokemon to be played. I probably will not watch this regional, for being completely honest. I'll be watching basketball all day.
I'm kind of with you there, Ali. Like, I'm not even like, I don't even have like a great excuse. I just like, yeah, I'm so checked out of Reg F, as sad as that is to say. And like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm sure that you're right there with us as well. It's getting to the point where, like, besides the Champions news that we've got to talk about, I have like kind of considered like, do we just take a break until Champions comes out when it comes out? I don't even know. Like I still love doing this and still love talking with y'all. But it's just, yeah. And in terms of like excitement for current VGC, it is pretty down there because we are just running on fumes with Scarlet and Violet here.
Nick, we gotta get the music stream before we get more music. Perfect time to do it.
True.
Putting you on
the music stream is, I am like reasonably close to finish with my stuff. Jeremy and Tommy have been they've also been making progress, but it's looking like it's probably a summer stream.
All right. Y'all have been working on this for the better part of 2 years now. So I'm very excited for this when it happens. they're gonna rank every single track from every single Pokemon game, and so they've been working on that for a while, and it's been cool to watch. There was so much Pokemon music being played at our house at Gavin's wedding. It was pretty crazy. Y'all could literally hear the first notes of a song and be like, I know what Pokemon song that is.
Yeah,
they do like a game show like that. They should do that for Pokemon. That'd be fun.
Well, Pokemon Hurdle is what it's called, and yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun game, especially if you've, I mean, like most of the people listening to this probably have a pretty decent recollection of the Pokemon music library. But yeah, no, it's a good time to like try to pull out what the track is. There's some
in there.
Sorry, is what?
Is Masters in there? Did you guys rank Masters or no?
I don't think it's in the app.
You just did like mainline. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, Pokemon Hurdles just mainline games. We also pare it down a little bit from there, and only play. We take off like some of the more obscure tracks. So I'm not going to go into our settings right now, but yeah, no, it's a really good time. And as for the music rankings, yeah, we've put a ton of time into it, and I'm excited to share all of the really the deep cuts. There's a lot of really,
hot
really
takes.
quality music that people don't know that much about. So,
and you'll have to wait about 4 months to hear all about it, right? That's the
look forward to it.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited for
with Pokemon typing adventure. That's so funny.
So
anybody going to Houston in the chat here, please let us know, because I don't think anybody in the call is going to Houston. So I don't think we have numbers for this one. And I actually am kind of curious, because I don't know anything about the numbers on this one. I don't think it filled. Can I still sign up? Let me see.
Probably.
Upcoming tournaments. I'm heading there right now.
Not too late.
Houston VG. Go to registration. Get me in there, man. Let's do it. Yeah, no, I very much can still sign up. For the low price of $80, and however much it takes me to cost to fly to Houston. Fly to Houston right now.
750 players is what someone in chat is saying.
I thought you were going to say $750.
No,
That's how much my flight was going to be.
It was going.
750 players.
Like, that's probably a bit high, but not that high.
No, I remember Houston's a city I want to visit. I've got a lot of friends there. I thought about going, and I decided that I didn't want to play any more Scarlet and Violet after Champions came out, and I really thought Champions would be out by now. And here I am having booked, 2 more regionals in Scarlet and Violet since then. So what a fool I am. But
yeah,
the last tournament of Regulation F is probably going to be a doozy. As I feel bad for the people who were trying to prepare for this tournament and were trying to get their friends who are checked out of Regulation F to prepare with them. So yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of people are probably been playing this format for a long time. Are going to use what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, I think Geo will definitely be there. And yeah, we'll be running through the past tournaments for some other suggestions. But yeah, feel free to mention your smart monies in the chat. We'll be getting to that shortly. Adi, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Let's jump into the past tournaments right now. Starting with 2018. Just if you want some inspiration for who might do well. The winner of the 2018 Dallas Regionals, of course, this being the Texas Regional, was Cedric, who beat Chuppa in finals. And I have a video about this regional, about one of Chuppa's stream matches, where he played Serapis on Chansey on stream. Very iconic moment. This was notably the first event of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, if I recall correctly. And so Texas was often the first event of a brand new format. It was always really exciting. This was also a format where this was the tournament where a bunch of random moves were banned. All the based on their audio files, some of them would crash the game. And so, like, Curse on Snorlax was banned. Curse on any Pokemon was banned. Spring Shot was banned at this regional. Just a weird tournament overall. A lot of disconnects. I remember that. And yeah, some of the names here, a lot of the strong players in the Texas or in that part of the country, starting with Cedric, who has won this regional in, I think, every single age division.
Yeah, and I think Cedric should be going to this one. So, yeah, somebody to watch out for. Strong Texas player. So,
Yep.
looking at the rest,
I think Carson.
I don't think
Is
Choppa's
Carson
not going, right?
Is Choppa? I don't
Carson's
think is
going.
going.
Yeah,
Carson is going. He's in Oklahoma, so he's pretty close to Texas. I don't know if anyone else in the top 8 still actually plays.
Yeah, Brendan saying, "Oh no, that's 9th. Never mind. I was about to make a joke." Anyways, was Jake on the casting list?
I don't think he was.
No.
What, right?
Would have been fun. Anyways.
Yeah, no. Maybe he's playing. But yeah, some names you might recognize. Shout out to Alvin. Back when he actually still played, he used this team and he won the next regional after this back in Collinsville, I believe. Something like that. So yeah. Moving on to 2019, the first event of Moon Series, and of course we have your 2019 Moon Series Texas Regional Champion here, Nick.
What's going on? You want the team report? I can crank one out right now.
I was gonna say we should. So people should pick you for smart money for this event. Is that right? Because you've won this event before.
The Texas tournament. I've also got another top 4 at 2017 Dallas. So that's the smartest smart money you can do.
Okay. Well, I don't think Brandon plays anymore either. I don't know if Aaron is going to this tournament. Alex?
I don't think Aaron's going.
No?
I don't think Aaron's going.
Don't know about Josh. Don't know about Megan. Honestly, I don't know about anyone else in this. Whether anyone else in this top 8 is going to this tournament.
I am pretty sure that he's not going to be there.
You don't think Ashton's going to be there?
No, I mean, I don't know. Ashton could show up. I just feel like
no, probably not. Preston might be there. Preston might be there because I think he's relatively local to the area.
Sure, I
think he's Louisiana.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
Moving on to 2020, this was the first event of Sword and Shield. First event of Sword and Shield Series 2, I guess. And this was won by none other than Aaron Trailer with G-Max Charizard. At the time, we didn't actually fully realize how much damage G-Max did at the time of this regional. Because we were playing on Pokemon Showdown, where it was using like fire spin mechanics or something like that. It was doing way less damage than what D was supposed to be doing. So we were all getting poor testing. So he and Andrew both had. Did Andrew have G-Max Charizard? I don't actually know. But Aaron, G-Max Charizard, kind of swept through the field here. Some other names that stand out: Big G, no longer in the United States right now. Justin, not going to this event, not playing Scarlet and Violet. The next Justin, don't think he plays. Justin Kurbot does not play. Man, who?
That's 3 Justins in a row, huh?
I know, it's pretty crazy. I realized it as I was going. I really don't know if anyone else on this list is actually going to this tournament. This is like a who's who of players from back in the day. None of whom I think actually like play very actively now.
High quality players.
Yeah,
used to play.
Who I think are still around, just like maybe not going to this tournament.
Oh, hey, there's Dawe.
Yep, there's Dawe, there's Raghav. Don't think either of them are going.
The thing is, Audie, it's making me realize, because these results are pretty old at this point, that like once Champions comes out, will Dynamax babies like now be put into the the VGC Boomer category? You know, like they've just been playing long enough that they're like old heads, like. As stupid as that is to say.
They get to be like VGC millennials.
Yeah.
They'll they never had to deal with the we can say they never had to deal with the days where we had 60-person regionals. They've only ever seen Big offense.
True.
Anyways, next up, 2023 post pandemic. This one in San Antonio now. I really like San Antonio as a location. It's the time I lived in Austin, so it was very convenient for me. And this one was won by Giovanni Costa. He obviously not going to this event. Second place, Raghav, also with a team that I really enjoyed. Justin, another familiar face. Joe might be going to this event. Do we know if Joe's going to this event?
Joe goes to everything, so I just always assume yes.
Right? It would be kind of sad if Joe was not going to this event. That would really tell you how low we are on Regulation F. But yeah, again, I'm looking at these names like these are a lot of really good players. I don't know if any of them are actually planning on going. This is around the time when regional stopped being as regional, right? And I guess for it's been like that for a little bit, but now most of these players are not from Texas anymore. I remember actually, being a Texas player, I was really proud. Hey, Texas did really well. There were a bunch of Texas players in the top 32. Arsol in top 32. Colin was a Texas player. Me.
Audie.
What's up? Connor.
Audie's a Texas player.
Yeah, me at the time. Connor was from Texas. Right, so Jeff, who won a Victory Road Tour, I think a couple weeks ago, also a Texas player. So we had some really strong results. Chase is Texas, but no one quite in that top 8 who was representing us. And then moving on to 2025, we had Justin Tang and Shiliang Tang fight off in the finals in the mirror match. First regional of Regulation G Part 2. So continuing that legacy of being the first regional of a brand new format. Sort of brand new. Not exactly brand new. Dawe. Also, we saw a couple other times, but she got top 4. Andrew Figueros got top 4. And some other names. Luca, Tanner. Was this Billy's first result? Is that right?
Man, I don't know. I Billy, at this point had not gotten featured on stream. I just know that just could not catch a break with just stream dodging him constantly. So, which it's funny because I feel like we're streaming all top 8s now, and this isn't even forever ago. This is just a little over a year ago. So it just kind of goes to show how much things are constantly evolving in the VGC scene, whether it's the game or the way that they handle the streams, the live events, the number of rounds we're doing at tournaments. It feels like something's always different. So it is kind of funny how this was not that long ago, but a top 8 finish just did not get on stream.
Yep. I feel like this was the first time I had heard I had seen his name. I feel like this might have been his breakout performance. Using Hard Trick Room. Carson, again, we see his name. He is, I say no players from Texas, but he is, in that Texas region, Oklahoma, Texas, right next to each other. So he is maybe the most local player that pretty consistently does well. But that is something to maybe one of the big questions is, can Texas defend its territory this time around? Hasn't done it in a long time. Dominic Vogel has had a really strong last couple of years. I don't know. He's going. Same with Pengi. Same with Diego. I don't know. Again, Connor is a Texas player, so maybe he's probably going. But yeah, I'm not really sure who these players is actually going to this event. I feel like there's not a lot of excitement to this. A lot of people who were maybe excited for it at one point have lost that excitement as we've kind of dragged on through Regulation F. Looking forward to a new format. But yeah, with that, let's talk about smart money. So, who do you guys, and start with Nails, who do you guys got?
It's got to be Carson.
Carson Confer.
He kept showing up in these in the standings in the top cuts for Texas. About time he gets there. He's won events everywhere except for Texas. So now we'll bring it home in his neighbor state, not his home state, but that would have been a lot more eloquent if it was his home state.
All right, Alex.
I don't think Carson was a hot take, and it was my pick. So sad. I had actually wanted to pick Carson before I'd even looked through all the results. Then I was like, damn, he's done well in Texas a lot. So it really makes a lot of sense to be picking Carson here. And so I think, honestly, looking through the list, there's just so many people that I'm like not even sure um, are going and stuff like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I do know Cedric will be going, but Cedric's also been like very busy from what I've heard. So I'm not sure if he'll be in top shape as much as he might like to be, even though he's a very strong player regardless. So I think I'm going to go with the very, very, very boring pick that was just mentioned in chat as well is Gio. I'm just going to take the world champion. World champion, home state. Come on, let's do it.
All right. I like it. I like it. That was annoyingly also
And
I
he's
was
won
going
this thing before, right?
who? What? Geo?
Didn't he win? Yeah, didn't he win in 23? It's a joke.
I got it. I got it. Wrong Geo.
The other Geo. The other Geo. The other Geo.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to pick Geo as well. And so a little disappointed that was picked. And so I got.
Okay, you just have to feel the fourth guy's pick.
I know. Well,
Yep.
I'm going to take. I'm going to say I don't believe you. No, actually, you know what? I got a better pick. I got a better pick. You know who's back? Who's back? It's been a little bit. I'm picking my boy Sohad, who is I think finally going to be able to return to events. And
Yes.
he is now a Houston local. He moved out to that part of the country. And finally gets to go to now what is his hometown regional. I think he's pumped to be back. I think he's going to do well. So, picking so.
All right, I like it.
I was thinking about picking Cedric, but I did not realize he was as busy as he was. I know he's been grinding Pokemon Champions content. He's been really getting ready for that. So
that's actually, I think, what's been holding him back.
Yeah,
Genuinely. Not to like, I don't know. I don't think I'm airing him out or anything like that. I mean, maybe if he probably hasn't said any of this like publicly or whatever, but it's whatever. But yeah, I think he just said like a lot of his time that he would be spending on VGC, he's been spending on making content and stuff. So
fair enough. All right, and then since we've got some time, to play the Calc is right.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Which I am setting up with in a different browser because
What the heck is happening?
Because it doesn't, believe it or not, the damage calc stopped working in Firefox on my browser for some reason. I don't know how to get it to work, so now I just use the damage calc in Chrome and everything else in Firefox.
Oh my god.
I know. Is Alex in chat? Alex, fix your calc. I can't get it to work.
Oh my god.
I know. I don't want to change. All right. I feel like, we didn't get to talk about that many crazy teams today, but it is the first weekend of Regulation I, so maybe we could do some Regulation I calcs if you guys have anything fun from that format. Or this format, if you prefer this one.
No, I like Regulation I. But I don't like Regulation I, but I like the idea of doing a Regulation I calcs. So, I guess let's just warm ourselves back up to it. Is there a default AV ensign in there, Adi? Can you pull up one?
I think I remember disagreeing with the set, but yeah, there is. It's like impish 188, yeah.
Okay. Let's go for whatever the default AV ensign is. Yeah, that guy. I want to know how much it takes from a +2 not Terrapagos Terra Starstorm. So I guess let's say that the Pagos's investment is I'm gonna say it's max modest. Honestly, we're gonna say it's like one of the offense ones. It's not choice specs.
Okay, that was the question that I had loaded up.
Yeah. No, we're gonna go for not choice specs, but it's +2 because it got decorated by a Smeargle. We'll say it's like the Power Herb Meteor Beam set. But yeah, it's very offensively invested. So 252 modest, +2 Terra Starstorm into this AV ensign here. So 228.92.
I got my number.
Oh wait, let me. I was not paying close enough attention. Okay, I got a number.
All right, Adi, go ahead.
I think it's doing a solid 82%. Not going to KO. Saltfest is pretty bulky, but doing a decent chunk.
Nick?
I got 72. Assault Vest goes kind of hard, but it definitely would kill if it wasn't Assault Vest.
Okay. Let's see it.
All right. And this is, yeah, I think Nick got it. Unless I missed something, he's doing 63.8 to 75.8.
Alrighty.
Man.
Yeah,
And that's like so much investment too. Wow.
yeah, and that's. I mean, he's getting the 2-shot, but you look at +4 and like +4 is a roll to kill. That, I mean, it is Assault Vest. It's kind of, but
Turtle's like kind of strong.
+1 get there.
You need a choice on there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a +1. You probably do the Nick. You played a lot more Specs Turtle, right? So you probably do the +1 calc a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that looks like it gets the 2-shot pretty consistently.
Yep. Sounds about
That's
right.
decent. That is what it's all about. It's just the 2-shot demon.
All right. I also have a calc. We're talking about Sneasler. And I think Sneasler, hey, this is the shit. So let's say you got this adamant max attack Terra Dark Sneasler clicking throat chop into a max HP 4 defense Calyrex Ice. How much is it doing?
Oh, the Ice Rider.
You
know, Adi, you got me thinking a little bit because you know how Shadow Rider runs Terra Dark often.
Yep.
Or Terra Normal. And that Sneasler had Throat Chop, but it also had Low Kick.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of wondering if that was enough of a punish to the Terra Calyrex Shadow, because I don't think it gets. Maybe it's still heavy enough.
Calyrex
I
is heavy.
Max
because
Shadow
I know
is
if
that still-
Koraidon does. I think Koraidon KOs it, or it gets really close to KOing it. I think it's like base 80 power.
Yeah, 80. It is only 80. Okay, yeah,
It
I was
is.
kind of worried about that because, like, I mean, Koraidon going for a super effective 80 base power attack. That's nice. Sneasler though, I was definitely a little more skeptical. I feel like it's just Sneasler's not sticking around long enough that I feel like the low kick is worth it. Just run close combat, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Anyways, I have my answer for this one.
So what multipliers do we have on it?
It's just Terra Dark.
It's just Terra Dark
Max
Throat Chop.
Adamant Throat Chop, but I don't think you mentioned the Calyrex. You said max HP. Is that what you said?
Max HP for defense.
Cool.
Okay.
Got it. I'm ready.
Not the crazy bulky leftovers elite sheet stuff. Just
okay,
vanilla stuff. All right.
Yeah, I got a number.
All right, Nick, you can kick it off.
That's gonna do 54. It's gonna 2-shot reasonably comfortably.
4. Alex, what do you think?
Nick's like pretty much right on the mark. I'm wondering if Calyrex can just tank this, so I'm gonna go for 48. But maybe that's disrespecting Sneasler a little bit because Sneasler has a very high attack stat.
48. Wow. That feels like it's really disrespecting Sneasler. I feel like it was gonna do
Now that you mention it, I think you love that.
252. Okay, and Nick, you were also right on the money once again, right? What was your number again?
I said 54.
54, yeah. So right on the money.
Right in there.
52.1 to 61.8. Alex saying it wouldn't 2-shot. That's some crazy work. I'd be really shocked. I guess the bulky ones it doesn't 2-shot, huh? Surely.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm messing myself up a little bit by I knew that it terra'd, but I was really not factoring in the terra, you know.
Right.
I think that's where I'm taking a wrong turn. Anyways, Nick, what do you got?
Okay, I got to come up with something real quick. So, okay, I got something here. So, it's something that came up in one of my world sets. We got ourselves a Focus Sash Fluttermane. It's clicking Moonblasts into a Shadow Rider that might Terra Dark, but it might not Terra Dark. And You got to get that right. How much is this Moonblast doing to the Glass Shadow Rider that turns out did not Terra Dark? Got the call wrong, but I'm assuming the Shadow Rider was just glass.
Right. Okay.
I think I actually know this one. So I've got my number.
All right, I'm ready as well.
What you got, guys?
Alex, you can go first.
I'll go first. All right, I'm gonna go for 50 exactly. I feel like it's probably like a roll to kill. So like when it's Terras, but I don't know. Adi?
Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty sure it is a roll the 2-shot. So I'll say 49. I'll go one under you.
Were you gonna pick 50?
I was gonna pick 50. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Glass Caloric Shadow Rider decided not to take KO into the Sash Fluttermane. This is Timid Fluttermane. Click in Moonblast. It is doing, that's right, 48 to 57%. So it is a roll to 2-shot. And even if they have a little bit of bulk, it still is a roll to 2-shot them. Or if they Terra Dark, roll the KO.
So moral of the story: you don't have to
right?
Shadow Ball. You can just click Moonblast twice.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're Sash CSR, then you really just click double Moonblast.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, Moonblast can get the special attack drop, so you know.
Yeah. Moonblast is a little bit of an overtuned move.
It's just maybe champions will finally do something about it. Maybe not.
It's on my list of moves that I'd like to see nerfed in champions for sure.
Right.
If we don't get champions, we're just gonna go through all of those different different types of topics for this podcast. What moves do you like to see nerfed? Pokemon champions, stuff like that. We're getting there. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. And with that, I know this is a short episode, but I think we're out of stuff to talk about.
No, yeah, that's we've covered pretty much everything. So,
well, thank you guys for hanging out, and talking about Regulation F for not the last time, but hopefully close to the last time. And also talking about Regulation I and Pokemon Champions and all the news that we got. If you didn't get to see the entire episode, maybe joined halfway through, this will be out tomorrow on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, CK49. So you can check it out, like, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to come hang out with us on Twitch, we do this usually Tuesday evenings, sometimes Wednesday evenings. Today's a Wednesday. So yeah, come hang out. Nick, thank you for coming on last minute when we needed a guest, as the usual suspect. And of course, you had some real Regulation I finishes, so you had some real insight about the format too.
Yeah, no, it's always fun to be on here and get some yapping in. Hope that someone enjoyed it.
All right, and with that, we are going to send you over to someone who looks like they are playing some Regulation I, might be some Regulation J because they're on ladder. So go say hi to them. And that's going to wrap it up from us. Until next time, we'll see you later.